Let's go! You have probably noticed by now that if you scroll through CoinGecko, there are a lot of coins with similar names such as Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, and Bitcoin SV, or in this case Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, which we are going to be talking about today. This can be a bit confusing for anyone who was not in crypto back then when these coins were created, and even more confusing for people new to the space because with pretty much all of these coins that were created by hard forks, there are believers in both sides who will do their best to convince anyone that their version is the real version and that it should be supported. Recently, we have seen Ethereum Classic performing very well, so I figured today would be a good time to make a video about it and its similarities and differences from Ethereum. Before I get into all of that, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you do not miss out on more videos like this, as well as videos on how I am trading, the best altcoins, and of course, the most important crypto news. The story of Ethereum and Ethereum Classic is actually a fairly old one, at least in terms of the age of the crypto space, as it took place back in 2016. Ethereum was originally created when Vitalik Buterin proposed using a new programming language for Bitcoin that could allow apps to be built on top of it. That idea did not receive much support, so he decided to make his own blockchain where he could implement that programming language and his idea for apps on the blockchain. He accomplished this by raising 25,000 Bitcoin in a crowd sale in 2014, which was only 17 million back then compared to the more than $1.4 billion that it would be worth right now. Using that money and working with several other co-founders, Ethereum was created as an open source, decentralized software platform. The most important thing to remember right now is that the code for Ethereum was open source, meaning that anyone could look at it. If we skip ahead 2 years to 2016, things were going well and the Ethereum DAO had been created to help fund the new promising projects being built on top of the chain. In April of 2016, the DAO raised $150 million worth of Ethereum to use for its investments, which actually made it one of the largest crowd funds in history. Unfortunately, there was a vulnerability in the code that was used to create the DAO. To be clear, this was not the code of Ethereum that was vulnerable, but the code of the app built on top of it. So the vulnerability allowed someone to drain about $50 million worth of Ethereum from the DAO investment pool. So first off, what is a DAO? DAO is kind of like the funds for the organization. So the decentralized autonomous organization. I think that is the definition of a DAO. But so he could have actually taken even more, but he stopped for an unknown reason. So he could have taken even more funds. Also, while he was in complete control of the money he stole, due to a mechanism in the code, the funds were locked for 28 days after withdrawal. This gave the Ethereum community time to decide how to handle this exploit. At this time, Ethereum was nowhere near as large as it is today and was still trying to build up its reputation, and while this exploit had nothing to do with the code of Ethereum itself, it still brought about a lot of negative attention and not everyone understood what went wrong. There were two primary opinions on what should be done. One side wanted to have a hard fork and take the attackers' funds and give them back to the investors. The other side believed that would set a bad precedent that went against the ideal of the blockchain being permanent. In the end, the two sides could not agree, so that was the hard fork, which is simply when a blockchain is split into two slightly different versions. So the version that did not change the blockchain and allow the attacker to keep his funds is known as Ethereum Classic. And the version that took the funds back is the Ethereum that is now the second largest cryptocurrency in the world. So, since that event, the two chains have taken very different paths. One of the biggest reasons why Ethereum has seen so much success and was chosen by more people than Ethereum Classic is because of Vitalik Buterin, who is widely seen as the public face of Ethereum. So he chose the side of Ethereum. If you have never been a part of a hard fork, what happens is that if you held coins on the original chain, then you're given the same amount on the new chain. But that does not mean that they are worth the same, as market participants generally see one as the real one and the other as secondary to it, so they will not pay the same amount for those coins. In other words, one of the coins is going to be worth more after the hard fork, depending on which the market believes is the real coin. So this effect is also made stronger by the fact that believers in one chain will usually dump the coins they receive on the chain they do not believe in. So a lot of people kept their Ethereum tokens and dumped their Ethereum Classic. We saw the same thing happen with the Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, and all of the other forks of Bitcoin. And remember, back in 2017, hard forks from Bitcoin was actually quite a big deal. Now, it's not as common in more recent times. But if we take a look at Ethereum, it is worth around $3,500 and has a market cap of $405 billion. If we look at Ethereum Classic, it is worth around $140 and has a market cap of almost $18 billion. Another difference between the two chains is that there is a difference in supply. Ethereum Classic has a maximum supply of 210 million with 127 million circulating, while Ethereum has no maximum supply with 115 million circulating. This is not the only difference between the two chains, as they have taken other slightly different courses in terms of development. For example, we all know that Ethereum is transitioning to proof of stake with Ethereum 2.0 later this year, but currently Ethereum Classic does not have any plans to change its consensus mechanisms, although there have been talks about a need to change something, as it has been a victim of multiple major 51% attacks. So what is a 51% attack? Well, that is when someone gains control of more than half of the network hash power and can then do anything they want, such as double spend coins and verify false transactions. So that has not at all prevented Ethereum Classic from seeing huge gains throughout this bull run, as it has actually outperformed Ethereum itself in percent gains but not in dollar gains. If we take a look at their performances, Ethereum is up 1,600% in the last year and 65% in the last month, while Ethereum Classic is up 1,900% in the last year and 683% in the last month. In the end, whether you should buy Ethereum or Ethereum Classic comes down to what your plans for it are. If you are planning to hold for a long time, then Ethereum appears as the better choice because it is the chain where DeFi and pretty much everything else is being developed on, and it has started seeing institutional support and has the backing of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. On the other hand, if you are simply a shorter term trader, then you should choose whichever presents the better setups for how you trade, and as we just saw, Ethereum Classic has shown that it offers a lot of opportunity for price volatility and upside, but due to the 51% attacks, it has been delisted on a couple of exchanges, and the withdrawal and deposit times for it are generally much longer than for other coins, sometimes up to a week for extra security. This does not mean that there is no future for Ethereum Classic, as there is an enthusiastic community behind the coin who believe very strongly in it, and as we have seen all the time in crypto, anything is possible. Maybe at some point in the future, Ethereum Classic will find a slightly different purpose that it can fulfill than just trying to compete with Ethereum and be successful at that instead. So what do you think? Do you support the original Ethereum, which should be, I guess, technically Ethereum Classic, or the new Ethereum, which is the second largest cryptocurrency today? Let me know down in the comment section, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.